Jaguars, Bengals, Monday Night Football. Let's get it. So before we get into this video, quick word from this video sponsor, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
So the Jaguars are 9-point favorites going into this game, which is a pretty wild spread, but we all know with Joe Burrow out, the Jaguars should pretty much be heavily favorites. So you guys can put some wagers on that, but there's other things that you can do right now on BetUS. Look, there are futures bets that you guys can make. I did look it up. The Jaguars right now have the fourth best odds to win the AFC, right behind the Chiefs, Ravens, and Dolphins. So Jaguars right now are at plus 700, which means if you put down, say, $200 in a Jaguars, go to the Super Bowl, you win $1,400. So, that's kind of how that translates over. And remember, guys, all payouts are paid out within 24 hours. So, if you guys want to put some money on Sunday's games and maybe double it up and kind of you guys want to put some bets on the Jaguars game, you guys can do that all on Monday Night Football. So with all that said, right down below, guys, I have a link for you. It's going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. So if you put down, $100, you're going to see $225 show up in your account. So shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to this preview. Monday Night Football. Guys, the Jaguars haven't had a Monday Night Football game, and get this, 12 years. It's been 12 years since the Jaguars last played on Monday Night Football. Now I ask you, let me know in the comments section, what were you doing 12 years ago? I was just a senior in high school 12 years ago. So my whole entire college life and my whole entire YouTube life, I've never seen this team play on Monday Night Football. So this one will be really cool. And like I said earlier, this matchup definitely lost some of its luster with Joe Burrow, unfortunately, being out. I was really looking forward to this one because, the Jaguars played against the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football, another primetime matchup. In 2021, when Urban Meyer went out and decided to have some fun later that night and the infamous Cincinnati bar incident. And the Jaguars were actually pretty close that game. I mean, it was a good game, and, the Bengals kind of won it at the end, but the Bengals, edged out the Jaguars that one. And the Jaguars haven't played Joe Burrow since then. And it's looking like now the Jaguars will not play the AFC North next year. They're going to play the AFC East. So they're going to probably play the first place team, which is the Ravens. So the Jaguars will go, the entire next year without playing Joe Burrow unless they see him in the playoffs. So there's a very real chance that maybe we go 4 or 5 years without having a Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence matchup, which is kind of not what I wanted. I wanted this to be kind of like an annual matchup, but, it is what it is. Maybe we'll see them in the playoffs next season. So right now, the Bengals are 5-6 going into this game. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and look, they're struggling. I mean, that's to be expected. Look, if Trevor Lawrence got hurt, it'd probably be the same exact story if CJ Beathard were starting for us. Now, Browning in the last 6 quarters, because Joe Burrow got hurt about halfway through the game against the Ravens, so Browning has had basically 6 quarters of football. He's throwing for 65.9% completion percentage, 295 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And look, just not a whole lot going there. The Joe Mixon has been the entire run game for the Bengals, 621 yards, 3.9 yards per carry, and 4 touchdowns. And if you want to find the next highest rusher, it's actually Joe Burrow with 88 yards rushing. Travion Williams has 59 yards rushing. So the entire run game is Joe Mixon. And when you look at their wide receiver group, they got one of the better groups in the NFL. Of course, we all know about Jamar Chase, the number 4 pick in the 2021 NFL draft. 75 receptions for 914 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's having an outstanding year. Tyler Boyd, 50 receptions for 462 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Tyler Boyd's playing some good football. T. Higgins only has 27 receptions for 328 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he has been out for the last month with a hamstring injury, so he is expected to come back this game. It's looking like, and the big thing with the Bengals, of course, Joe Burrow is out, and like the team's struggling a little bit because of that. But also the defense hasn't been as good as last year. With Jesse Bates going, leaving for the Falcons, that's been one thing. And look, the defense is 31st in yards per game, 19th in scoring, and 28th on third down. So just the whole entire team just hasn't been able to mesh and play well together, and it's caused them to have a 5-6 record. And also, when you look at going into this game, look, the Bengals, this is a crazy one. The Bengals have lost 15 straight away primetime games. That is crazy. That's crazy. The Jaguars, I think, are on at least a 2-game winning streak, in away primetime games if you include the Saints game, and then if you include the Thursday night football game against the Jets from last year. And I can't really go back further than that. But yeah, the Jaguars doing pretty good. But yeah, 15 straight prime time away games in a row. That is, according to my notes, not good. So yeah, the Bengals are desperate for this one right now. Let's be real. They need a win more than the Jaguars. The Jaguars, of course, are playing for the number 1 seed, and if the Jaguars do want to get the number 1 seed, the Jaguars do need to win this one. But with the Bengals, they're 5-6. They can't afford to go 5-7 if they want a shot at the playoffs. So the Bengals definitely desperately need this one. And look, this is the Taylor Bowl. Zach Taylor, the head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, is actually Press Taylor, Jaguars offensive coordinator's brother. So that's kind of a cool matchup here. I don't think they've ever actually played against each other. Definitely not in this capacity where, Press Taylor is in such a high kind of role for the team. So there's that. So I guess with this game on the Jaguars end, I want to see the offense progress. And mainly when I say that, look, I want the offensive line to gel and play well, and I want to I want the run game to kind of get going. The run game hasn't been very good as of late, and it's funny because Press Taylor, said in a press conference, he's kind of breaking it down today. But it really all comes down to the reason why the run game isn't working and the short yardage isn't working is because the offensive linemen aren't beating the guy in front of them. I mean, look, if all 5 of those guys win their battles, you're going to be running pretty well. It's just slowed down a lot this last few games. And with the pass game, I say the pass game just keeps doing what they're doing. I think Trevor Lawrence is playing really good, but I do think that we need to, maybe this will be a good game to try to get the run game going a little bit because, in the playoffs, I think we're going to need that. We can't have a struggling offensive line with a struggling Travis Etienne back there, kind of running the ball. And defensively, look, the Bengals, the thing about them is they like to abandon the run game. So the Jaguars can get up early, get up 10, 14-point lead, then the Bengals aren't going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to have Jake Browning basically throw the ball everywhere. And that's when the defense does things to confuse them. Against CJ Stroud, they did a lot of confusing coverages to kind of mix him up there. Also find ways to get pressure on him, just all that good stuff. Make him feel uncomfortable in a crazy environment, which will be in Duval County this Monday Night Football. So yeah, get loud, confuse them. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So my prediction for this game, the Jaguars, like I said, are 9-point favorites. That is a pretty crazy spread. And I'll be honest, I think it's going to be an easy win for the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars win and cover. Jaguars are 8-3 against the spread this year. I think the Jaguars win 28-10 is what my prediction is. And with this game, I think some people are going to be calling this a trap game. Look, if this was a 1:00 game, I could maybe argue that it'd be a trap game because coming off a big win against Houston, you're playing a team without their star quarterback. Maybe this would be a team that you're falling asleep on. But look, this is a primetime game, Monday Night Football. There's no way the Jaguars will not come ready to this one. It's also a pretty nice uniform matchup. The Jaguars wearing black on black. The Cincinnati Bengals are wearing their albino tiger white on white look. So it's going to be a pretty underrated uniform game. I'll say that. And we will be streaming this one. Can't wait. First Monday Night Football game ever streamed. And nothing going on 1:00 on Sunday, but I will say I'm thinking about maybe streaming the 1:00 window with the Titans versus Colts. And then, Texans and Broncos are also playing. Let me know if you guys would be interested in, if you guys would show up to a 1:00 live stream, if you guys are out there doing other stuff. I haven't really confirmed if I'm doing that or not, just considering it. But yeah, Monday Night Football, 6 games left in the season. Let's get that number 1 seed, baby. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like on your way out and go Jags.